Well, I'm pretty much set up and good to go here. Very long day at work today. My legs and back are really quite sore. And I figured tonight, you know what? Let's go ahead and do a stream here. I gotta use display capture for this game. It's really funny. Mortis is playing a former gotcha game by playing Octopath Traveler Zero. Hope you're enjoying that game, by the way. The game that was based off of Champions of the Continent, another Square Enix gotcha game that they decided to make into an actual, like, start to finish paid video game adapted that way. You get to play the gotcha adapted into a proper game. I'm playing the proper game adapted into a gotcha. Oh, how the turntables. Minus the Sephiroth stuff. The Sephiroth stuff that I'm doing here is exclusive to this, but, you know, the Final Fantasy VII and Crisis Core stuff is regular game adapted into a gotcha. And then the Advent Children stuff in this game is a movie adapted into a gotcha game. And maybe they'll adapt, like, more things later. I don't know whether I'm gonna do the Advent Children stuff yet. I'm gonna for sure, like, play through the Sephiroth stuff. But, like, you know, maybe I'll do a playthrough of Advent Children if I have the time and I'm feeling spicy, because, like, you know, I'm trying to showcase the important stuff of the Final Fantasy VII series, and I couldn't really showcase Advent Children because it's a movie, it's not a video game. But it's technically a video game now, so, I mean, yeah. Long day at work for me too, but in a different way. Yeah, at the desk there, Mythic, saying, oh, thank God I streamed so bored at work, but trying not to fall asleep. I got a little bit tired during work today. What the heck is going on? Is this Monster Hunter Wilds? This happens to me every time I boot up Monster Hunter Wilds that I've been doing lately. Oh, here we go. But yeah, you get to see, like, my proper enclosed printer. I am do the thing, Bob. Yeah, I can, here, if I do full camera. Oh, that's just that cam. Boop-a-bop. If I do this, turn off the tracking. Yeah, so what the window is there, window is solid material, is it more like a mesh? It's semi-solid. The best example that I can use might not be super applicable here. We have a boat, a pontoon boat, and there's a little cover that can go over, like, the top, and the window part of it is basically, like, the same material. So it's like a plasticky kind of mesh thing. So you can move it around and stuff. Like, it's solid. It'll generally keep heat in, but you can see through it and see what's going on there. I'm very surprised this enclosure fit into this space. I'm not going to keep it here longer than is necessary because it is so big and awkward that I cannot access my games anymore. That shelf is completely blocked. It's a little bit of a pain in the ass getting it in there. But I've been having some trouble with some of my longer Pet G prints really warping like that. Like, this printed flat, and then it warped it that badly. And I was like, this is going to peel off if I keep it going. I'm taking it off. So, for longer prints like this is a plant pot, is what I'm working on here. I'm trying this and seeing if having the surrounding air be kind of hot too kind of solves some of my problems while I print some of these larger scale plant pots. So that's kind of what's going on here. Is I'm gonna see if this solves some of my issues. And the moment that I'm done printing these bigger plant pots, I'm taking down the enclosure and getting it out of here because it's I can't reach my games. So yeah, genuinely impressed with just how much better Zero is than Champions of the Continent so far. Really enjoying the remake. Okay, I'll keep an eye out for it on, like, Steam sales or something here, considering it you know, whole stupid game key card thing where Bob. I was looking at Monster Hunter Wilds and what people are saying. What the heck? Popular searches. Help, I'm turning. Okay, whatever. Shop Simulator. Next is Hacker Simulator. What the hell was I about to search up? Oh yeah, Octopath Traveler Zero. Yeah, it is on my wish list. I'll keep an eye out for, like, a sale or something like that as well. I'll probably do at this point. So many other games going on here. I'll just do that. You know. The fans are really going off on my printer right now. I don't know why. I just told it to, like, get its coordinates. I wasn't planning on 3D printing anything this stream. I was thinking about it, but I decided, nah. One advantage of that, no, I just have to use display capture for this game, don't I? One potential advantage of having the enclosure is it could be a little bit quieter, less picked up on my microphone while it's in there. Day of 7 gift? Thank you for playing Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis. On the 7th of each month, that's tomorrow, the Day of 7. A gift will be distributed to all players. A whole bunch of blue crystals. Wow. I'm currently trying to not go insane. Lego Batman 2's bonus level is annoying. Oh, by the way. I may have done a little bit of grinding since the last time in that, like, EXP grinding map. And I did it a decent bit with just, you know, doing the battle over and over again. And then I realized you can spend a shit ton of extra stamina, and I have so many stamina potions that, like, I still can't redeem them all. I still have to, like, it claimed 11 more, and there's still a bunch here in my inventory. Some have probably already expired over time. These are gonna expire if I don't use them. So I just started spamming stamina like crazy, realizing that I can redeem it so that you can get like 9 times the rewards, use 9 times the amount of stamina, but it counts for like 9 battles. And after I realized that, I was able to level up really fast. So anyway, in this freemium gacha game, I'm now level 100. I'm max level now. So yeah. So I might have done a little bit of grinding since the last time I streamed this game. I might have just maxed out my level. And because I maxed out my level, I used that to beat Crisis Core, just skipping all the cutscenes and going through so that it would, like, level up the other party members and stuff. But even at max level, and with the 2-year anniversary weapons that are, like, 3 times the stats of other 5-star weapons I've maxed out, I still can't beat Final Fantasy VII. I guess that's a gacha game for you. I can beat Crisis Core at this point. I still cannot beat Final Fantasy VII. So, you know, that certainly says something, I guess. I leveled up my player level a whole bunch. I got that from just, like, leveling up the, like, my character's level in the one map and stuff, and that's why my stamina is so much higher. So, yeah. Oh no, Harmonia did a little bit of mining off camera. That's right. I did a little bit of mining off camera. Level 100 out of 100. So, you know how it be. Sometimes it be like that. But yeah, anyway, I meant to get back to that message by your Doormaster there. If Lego Batman 2 is what I think it is, I think I have it on my shelf back there for the Xbox 360. I would grab it and show you, but I kind of can't right now. I'm a little bit obstructed. Just trust me, bro. I'm pretty sure I have it. I didn't go as hard as I did on, like, Lego Star Wars PS2 games or anything like that, but I played a decent bit of Lego Batman 2 for my 360. But yeah. How many times did you accidentally play notes on your keyboard while mounting your camera there? None. The keyboard is off. There's a button that turns it on and off, so it doesn't do any notes by default. But, like, I have to press a certain button on it. Like this. And then, camera? You got it? There we go. And then if it's on, I turn up the volume. Then I can, like, hit notes. But, you know, buttons off. Fine. Off, darn you. No, it doesn't want to turn off now. You know, I can hit whatever I want. Nothing happens. But, like, I did hit a few buttons. But, like, it's been there a long time, that camera. I just had to, like, move it more towards the edge and more angled to, like, looking through the window. And now hitting those buttons made it go down a little bit. And now there's a slight chance it might actually fall off. Whatever, that's fine. Can I talk to you about the new prologue, how it fixes the introduction from Champions of the Continent? Yeah, where there's, like, actual story and not just like, the world's available. These are your main missions. Go take on, like, the big bad 3. Print a Benchy? You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I've actually never printed a Benchy. I never have. And, like, I could if you really want me to. I would have to put a little bit of cleaning filament through because I was just printing Petchi, and if I did a Benchy, I'd want to print it in PLA, and I like putting cleaning filament through before I do that. I also do realize that there is other ways that I could still get stronger, like the whole summons and enemy abilities that I've not, like, dicked around with at all, but oh well. Oh well there. But yeah, so I was thinking potentially at Janlan here, which is coming up in a little bit under 3 weeks. It's going to be January 23rd to 25th. Today's the 6th. Because I did Dirge of Cerberus at Hallowland, I was thinking, like, oh, Final Fantasy VII Remake is coming out on Switch 2 the day before Janlan, so it's probably a good time to do it. Maybe I start at Janlan. It's way too long of a game to do start to finish at Janlan. There's no way, and I already have other things planned for start to finish at Janlan. But maybe, if I have extra time, just start it at Janlan, like the very first stream, do it at the venue there. Maybe. And if that's what I do, I want to have this beaten before... Oh, I'm already selected on. I want to have this beaten before then. And now, with how absurdly strong I am, I can probably just bum rush through it like crazy, I would think. Also, I did the freaking gotcha pull for some more of the Nier stuff. Aerith ended up getting Kaine from Nier Replicant's outfit there. That's like, you know, the way that it is, but I guess it gets some good stats and stuff. So, yeah. Honestly, this game being a condensed version of all the Final Fantasy VII stuff is pretty cool for those that want to play the older stuff before the remakes. Yeah, it is an interesting kind of format to do it. I completely forgot I had a thingamabob on my stool where I put up my legs. Good thing I didn't knock that off. Probably one of 3 people who owns a 3D printer and hasn't printed a Benchy. The Venn diagram is basically just 2 circles. Yeah, my cousin printed a bunch of Benchies. I like printing calibration dragons. That's my test print. That's what I like. Which are these guys. This is my first calibration dragon I ever printed. These guys are good. Because then you test like stringing across the horns, you test rough details, you test smooth surfaces. They're nice. That's what I use to test my printer. I use Cali dragons. I don't use Benchies. Maybe I should use Benchies. I don't know. Maybe I should print some of the Benchy remixes. Yeah, sadly it's gacha. Sadly it's gacha, and sadly I'm at the point where I'm max level, and I have like broken 2-year anniversary weapons that are better than I can seemingly get my 5-star weapons be. Like, look at this. Hold on. Party. This is like one of the best Sephiroth 5-star weapons in the game. I got it to level 130 with a bunch of efforts. I re-rolled at the beginning of my playthrough to get this thing in the first place. And that's as high as the level goes, is 130. Like, maybe there's some other ways to enhance it that I don't realize, but this is, as far as I'm aware, at face value, as good as it gets. Physical attack, 225. Magic attack, 271. Look at these weapons that you get for free for the 2-year anniversary. 609, 470. Where's the other one here? 466, 618. So, like, probably just short of 3 times as good with a lot of stats compared to, like, maxed out 5-star best weapons in the game. So, you know, it's certainly something here, the difference. So I'm sure that there is probably some way to get this up to there. I don't know what the heck. Maybe I do this weird branding thing, enhance. Like, I can't get the level up any higher. I max it out. I can't upgrade the rarity. I can overboost, apparently, with these things, so I guess there is some ways to make it better, but at face value, initially, it's as good as it gets. So the 2-year anniversary weapons are a whole lot better, and even using the 2-year anniversary weapons at max level, I still can't beat Final Fantasy VII. Again, I beat Crisis Core. I can't beat Final Fantasy VII. Want to see where I'm at? This is where I got to in Final Fantasy VII. Here. This is what we're doing. The Sephiroth variation you have looks weird, like if Sephiroth was a normal guy. It's because it's the prequel story. Whoops. Free party, please. It's because this is the prequel, is what we're doing. So this Sephiroth is like the young Sephiroth, like as a kid, before he grew up into the adult Sephiroth. Adult Sephiroth is a character in this game too, but I don't know how you unlock him. He's locked for me. There he is. Oh, apparently you play Advent Children and then you unlock him. My other characters are level 50 now. So it's a young Sephiroth. Maybe I would go like Zack and Aerith or something like that. Damage, semi-tank, and sustain or something like that. It's only a 2-fer for this battle. So I don't know. Hold on. Well, let's show you where I'm at in Final Fantasy VII here. I don't even remember exactly. I don't think Aerith has died yet. I mean, evidently, I guess. Skip the cutscene. I started doing the stuff at the Temple of the Ancients, I remember. That's around where I was. Never get over the fact that Sephiroth's English voice actor is the guy who played Superman in the CWDC superhero shows. It's so weird. Definitely gets around then. What? Am I going crazy? They're level 13. What? I'm totally on the wrong chapter. This makes a whole lot more sense. There's no way I couldn't beat this. What the heck did I select? Because I'm pretty sure we're around the Temple of the Ancients. This is Wisdom of the Ancients. I think oh, because it selected me down there. Battle for the Pillar. Oh, newest stuff is at the bottom? Wait. Wait, how the heck does it work? Extra section extra. Wait, maybe it's as far as it goes right now. Wait, hold on. Story party only, story party only. Complete. I could have sworn I got to a battle in Final Fantasy VII that I couldn't beat. I could have sworn to you. Am I losing my mind? Main section 4. Oh, it put me on the wrong chapter. I am at the Temple of the Ancients. Okay, geez, no wonder it looks so friggin' weird. So yeah, I reached the Temple of the Ancients in Final Fantasy VII. But I don't think I can get any further. It wasn't even like a boss at the end of this that did me in. It was a random encounter that I couldn't get past. So like, I made it pretty decently far into the story of Final Fantasy VII, skipping past a bunch of stuff. And it's, it is kind of interesting that you could experience the compilation of Final Fantasy VII on a mobile device on your phone. But if it's going to consume that much of your life that with the super weapons and at max level, you still need to find ways to get stronger, probably with summons and a whole bunch of other shit that I haven't done yet. It's a little ridiculous. Like, at least I know Crisis Core is beatable at max level with, the 2-year anniversary weapons. And I did it with Zack, so I did it with, like, the intended way. It's just, it says it doesn't say complete, it says finished or whatever the heck it is. Because somewhere around the middle, I used the non-story party. But my Zack got so strong, evidently, here that I just used him for the rest. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was these Tonberries that did me in. Look at that! There's gotta be some gimmick here. There's gotta be something that I'm missing. He's doing okay damage to them. They're doing such a wicked amount of damage to me that there's gotta be like some sort of gimmick that I'm missing. And I wasn't paying a ton of attention before. I was just letting it play itself on my phone there. Maybe it's not that big a deal. There's probably just some gimmick that you deal with and then you're good. I presume, because they're level 58, I'm level 100. Maybe it is beatable. I just gotta do a stupid gimmick thing. Is all I probably gotta do. Grudge. So it probably is beatable. I just don't have the patience to engage with it. Also, the music is so good! 999. Yeah, obviously you're not meant to take that. There's something I'm missing, but whatever. So maybe it is beatable at this level. Maybe I'm talking out of my ass here. Suspended. Because yeah, I just knew that I couldn't beat it with like letting my phone go on auto. Now that I'm actually seeing what's happening, it's like, okay, obviously there's something I'm missing. So maybe you can just play through the compilation of Final Fantasy VII casually. So yeah, there's 7, there's Crisis Core, there's Advent Children that's a playable video game now instead of being a movie in case you want to actually like play it yourself. Maybe I'll check it out. And then like the Sephiroth exclusive prequel story, which is what I'm playing this game for, so. Maybe they'll add things like Dirge of Cerberus one day, and then you can experience that. I think that their intention is to make like the compilation of Final Fantasy VII playable in this game, so. It's kind of cool to have, like, a one-stop shop for, like, here's the whole story of Final Fantasy VII. And, a more modern way to play the original story of Final Fantasy VII. But maybe you don't want to play, like, a game from 1997 and don't want to deal with, like, mechanics from that long ago and, like, the lack of direction and, like, the world is open, figure out where you gotta go, stuff like that. Maybe you don't want to deal with stuff like that and you want to play a more modern game, then, I guess this exists, but... it's a gacha game. Makes sense for something like this to be a gacha game, I guess, if they were gonna make anything in Final Fantasy into a gacha. Just be like, oh yeah, here's all the Final Fantasy VII stories. Especially with the remake and rebirth being as popular as they are, where it's like, hey, want to experience the original story? Here it is. So, kind of neat that it exists, but, I kind of hate gacha games. Like, at least there isn't, like, character gachas. The gachas are all, like, for the weapons, is the thing. And if you get, like, the 2-year anniversary weapons, then you literally don't even need to engage with the gacha at all. Interestingly enough, considering I don't think that there's anything that I could possibly pull that's better than the 2-year anniversary stuff anyway. So I guess maybe I just lucked out based on when I started playing this game, but, like, I don't know. Let's see here. This is how gacha games have been since the start, sadly. What, with, you always need to grind a stupid amount, turn the game into your life if you want to keep on making progress. I was surprised that I could beat this, and I'm sure I'll be able to beat this too at this strength now. this is probably going to be the first gacha game ever on this channel that I actually have like a full start to finish playthrough, instead of just reach the point where I can't play anymore and then I give up. Because I just want to play like the exclusive stuff here. Like maybe that would be the case if I was trying to beat this, but I don't need to beat this. I already did a full playthrough of Final Fantasy VII. There's no point. I gotta do this because this is exclusive. Yeah, let's just see here. Not believe how hard it is to do endgame content for Dokkan Battle. I'm not familiar with that. Quit Dokkan Battle in high school? I've not actually heard of that before. To be honest, part of the reason why the first thing I printed was a Benchy was because my printer came pre-installed with the Benchy model. I may as well give it a go. I just hope it gets the Octopath Zero treatment, where it gets turned into a proper game. Like, these have already been turned into proper games, technically, because, you know, it started the other way around, proper games into gacha games, as opposed to Octopath Traveler Zero, which was gacha game into, you know, proper game. But for this stuff, it would be interesting if, you know, sometime during the remake games, they were like, oh yeah, we're releasing a standalone Sephiroth prequel video game that you can buy as, like, its own product. They probably wouldn't do the same for Advent Children, because Advent Children's already a film, so I don't think that would ever get a, like, full paid game adaptation. That might be a little silly. But I don't know, maybe they'd adapt this as, like, a full, bigger budget game in, like, the remake or rebirth style. If they, want to give it the Octopath Zero treatment. Maybe if Octopath Zero does well, Squeenix will be like, hey, let's do that with some of our other gacha games. What about that Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, huh? I don't know. Let's see here. Is it better or worse gacha than Xenoblade Chronicles 2? Worse. There's real money. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is just like, you gotta grind a little bit to get core crystals, but you're intended to unlock all the blades, like, with a little bit of time in the game itself. This is like actual gacha. This wants your money. What do you mean, which is worse? They want my money! I'm not giving them any of my money. Not happening. It's a new year. I get free 10 draws. I think it's a daily thing, but I don't really do it that much. But even if I get a good weapon from this, there's friggin' no point because I have the 2-year anniversary weapons. So there's no point. What does this do for me? I feel like I genuinely don't have a reason to pull in this game. Just because, like, what I'm pulling for is going to be outclassed by my friggin' 2-year anniversary stuff. So, you know, it can pull for fun here, but I think it's kind of pointless. Whoa, I got a legendary thing for the hit character Cloud Strife from video game Final Fantasy VII. Man, that thing is ugly. I got organics. And I have no reason to ever use it, because my freaking 2-year anniversary stuff is better. So what's the point in even pulling here? Yeah, let's see here. It's the most successful Dragon Ball gacha game, huh? Genuinely beautiful animation and music, but God is a Predator. I feel like that's a lot of gacha games. I just played DB Legends when it came out and dipped almost immediately. DB Legends sucks. Genuinely, that game is ass to play on a touchscreen. Oh. Seeing all this makes me convinced that Final Fantasy VII is like Skyrim. The community doesn't realize Final Fantasy is a series without the 7. How many Final Fantasy VII games are there? Wikipedia compilation of Final Fantasy VII. I'm playing all the important ones on this channel, and all the important ones is 7, ironically enough. My series of Final Fantasy VII is going to be 7 games, which is really quite ironic, but technically speaking, there are more Final Fantasy VII games. Just I don't think the other ones are important to cover, or they're lost media and near impossible to play nowadays. So, Final Fantasy VII, obviously. Before Crisis here was... I'm pretty sure this is lost media, because it was like a thing on like specific Japanese phones. At least for the Foma mobile. Look, it was for flip phones like that. So I think this is lost media now, this Before Crisis. Advent Children, this is a movie. That got an adaptation here, where it's like, you know, maybe I'll do a playthrough of that, just because, like, you know, this is the only way to play it on the channel. But it's a movie. So, it got a movie sequel, which I watched it. It's a freaking... The action is cool, the animations are awesome, the graphics are ahead of their time. The story is an unhinged fever dream that I genuinely don't understand. What was this here? They did an OVA as well. It looks like an anime OVA. I haven't actually watched this. It looks like it, special edition release of the film, hold on. Last Order was released in Japan with Advent Pieces Limited, a special edition release of Advent Children. So I did like a anime thing as well after their animated movie. This is just a mobile version of the snowboarding minigame from Final Fantasy VII, so I don't think this counts. Dirge of Cerberus I played on the channel. This is a sequel after Advent Children. That it's a third-person shooter on the PlayStation 2. I played it at HoloLand. A lot of people say it sucks, that this game is awful. Maybe I'm just a weirdo. I actually kind of liked it. I wanted to do a playthrough of this as well, but this is really, really hard to do. Dirge of Cerberus Lost Episode is a game that released for mobile devices as well, for like these specific phones in Japan that only available on the amped mobile phones, and it took place during like between two parts of the story of Dirge of Cerberus. So there was Dirge of Cerberus, and then like this one part of the story where they're like, oh yeah, between this episode and this episode of Dirge of Cerberus, this thing happened, lost episode. And most of it is lost media. People have actually managed to restore like the demo. Dirge of Cerberus Lost Episode demo restored. Like some very dedicated people have managed to like find and recover and make the demo for the game, which is like the first chapter, preserved. But I don't know about the full thing. I actually tried to get this working, and I could not for the life of me. But this is what it was friggin' released on, was the thing. So, you know, I would have added that to my Final Fantasy VII series, but I couldn't quite do so. It was a little bit... I could probably figure it out with enough time, but a little bit of a pain in the butt trying to set that up and figure it out, and eventually I was like, I guess I'm not doing that. Crisis Core is a prequel, and actually pretty important to the overall story now, especially with the remake games that are kind of incorporating Crisis Core stuff more directly into it, which follows Zack Fair, our guy here. This is Zack. Crisis Core follows Zack, while the main game follows Cloud. So Zack's our main character in Crisis Core. Crisis Core is pretty good. I enjoyed it, though my audio was a little bit broken during it. I don't remember what this is. What was this? Final Fantasy VII On the Way to a Smile. Related media. What the heck? On the Way to a Smile. I don't remember what that is. Films. Oh, it's another film? Episode Denzel is an original video animation adaptation of the story from Kazushige Nojima's On the Way to a Smile. It was released with Advent Children Complete. Is a collection of short stories to promote Advent Children and Advent Children Complete. Okay. Well, yeah, that's not a game there. There's the Advent Children Complete. Final Fantasy VII, The Kids Are Alright, a Turks side story. Oh my god. The Turks are... What? Is it not on this page? What the hell is The Turks Are All... Wait, The Kids Are Alright. Right? The Kids Are Alright. Not The Turks Are Alright. Kids Are... Alright, a Turks side story. A novel and second book set a short time before Advent Children. Story was illustrated. Yeah, so they've released like a lot of media. Most of it isn't... A lot of it isn't games, a lot of the side stuff. Final Fantasy VII G-Bike, I'm pretty sure this is just the motorcycle segment of Final Fantasy VII as a standalone game. Yeah, that's what it was. Oh, but like, with more modern graphics, I guess. I guess, like, is there a way to play this? It was 2014, it's probably taken down. Is the case. The title was a racing game with role-playing elements. Based on Square Enix's role-playing game Final Fantasy VII, the player controlled the protagonist of the game, Cloud Strife, while riding on a motorcycle, help battle enemies with melee weapons. Developer CyberConnect 2. Is there a way that you can still play it? Square Enix shut down the game in 2015. Yeah, so that's a lost media now, too. And then as of the past, like, half a decade here, there's been a remake, so I'm going to start that probably in a few weeks' time. The PS5 enhanced version with, like, a little Yuffie side story. Remake Traces of 2 Past. What is that? I've clicked on it before, apparently. Heck. Traces of 2 Pasts. What the heck is that? Is another novel. Takes place during the early events of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and features Aerith. Okay, so it's specifically side media to the remake games then. Okay, I didn't realize that they were still doing side media like that. Then there was the remake of, like, Crisis Core there, so that was what I played on the channel. I didn't play the original Crisis Core, I played this. There's Ever Crisis that I'm playing right now, which is kind of, you know, compilation of different Final Fantasy VII games into one. And then, of course, there was Rebirth that came out last year, because the original Final Fantasy VII came out, and when they remade it, they were like, we're not remaking one game. We're turning this game into 3. So I said I was playing 7 games on this channel. So those 7 games are the original game, the prequel, the sequel, Ever Crisis that I'm playing right now for, like, another prequel, and then 3 remake games. The first 2 remake games, Remake and Rebirth, are out right now. And the final remake game is, I don't know, sometime next year or the year after. So, 7 games will be my series. The 7th one isn't out yet, but I'll have the other 6 done by the time the 7th comes out, then the 7th comes out, and I'll get that done. So it's kind of ironic that my Final Fantasy VII series is going to be 7 games. So yeah, in terms of actual video games, I'm doing all the important ones. The other video games that I'm missing either aren't really important and or they're lost media. I'm pretty sure almost all of them are lost media. So like, there's a way that I might be able to showcase a little bit of it if I really put in a lot of effort, but it's easier said than done. So, for all intents and purposes, I'm basically showcasing the entire Final Fantasy VII series here. But in reality, I'm technically not. Yeah, Final Fantasy VII is, very, very much a standalone big franchise in and of itself, outside of Final Fantasy in general. No doubt about that. It is. That's why I have a Final Fantasy VII series playlist, in addition to my Final Fantasy series playlist on the channel. Yeah, so now you know. That's all that's going on with Final Fantasy VII there. But yeah, Final Fantasy VII is the Skyrim of Final Fantasy, definitely. Yeah, you're not wrong there. Final Fantasy XIV is the Elder Scrolls Online, true. Skyrim fan, the Elder Scrolls? What is that? Final Fantasy VII fans. Final Fantasy X? You mean Final Fantasy VII 10? Yeah, which of the Final Fantasy VII games? I like the music of Advent Children as well. Oh yeah, the music was good in Advent Children as well, you're right. Hot take, I enjoy the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, the original to be clear, more than Skyrim. It's probably not too hot of a take, honestly. If you would have said that like 10 years ago, it'd probably be a hot take. Nowadays, I don't think it'd be that hot of a take. Final Fantasy VII, the kids are alright. Who had the offspring name of Final Fantasy VII thing? Good question. But yeah, only way we're getting these is if Square Enix gets Terra leaked. Yeah, honestly. Yeah, so much of that. You know, if there was an easy way to play it, sure, I'd play it and showcase it for fun, but it's either really, really hard to, in the case of like Dirge of Cerberus Lost Episode, and even then it would just be a demo that I could play. The entirety of Lost Episode is still, as the name implies, ironically, a lost episode. It's lost media. And a lot of these other things are just genuinely lost media. I know instead Ubisoft got hacked. Ubisoft, there's like nothing of value there. Why'd they hack Ubisoft? Hackers overstayed what they did. It was pretty much locked to Rainbow Six Siege. I didn't even realize that Ubisoft was hacked recently here, because I've been so out of the loop. I mean, Star Wars proves you can make 200 prequels and still make money. Oh yeah. Yeah, we've done the original game. This is our 2nd prequel that we're doing, and I've already played a sequel game too. And now there's like 3 remake games. I still don't know why you need to make a trilogy remake series out of what was 1 game. Like, maybe it'll make more sense when I play Remake and Rebirth and be like, oh, they really did add enough new to the table. But I'm really worried that I'm just gonna be like, God, this is so much padding. They could have just remade 1 game instead of turning 1 game into a trilogy. Like, it's gotta be for money, right? I know that it was on 3 discs there, and, you know, it's kind of a nod to that. But, you know, so technically it's a remake of 1 game. Oh yeah, true. The content of the 3 discs isn't what's across the 3 games, but that is still kind of funny. But yeah, say this is a fan of said 200 prequels because the original games were on 3 discs. Yeah, I don't know why I reread that part. I'm losing my mind. Anyway, we're doing the Sephiroth prequel story, so for anyone that isn't caught up, we played through First Soldier before, start to finish this. Basically, it detailed Sephiroth's first ever mission that he was assigned by Shinra. He went and helped, like, our other main characters take out this island full of people, literally exterminate them all, so that Shinra could build a reactor there that I don't think they even got to build because it turned out the place wasn't good enough after they committed genocide, and there was like 1 survivor that the main characters wanted to save, and Sephiroth went over there to go help him, and the guy was like, hey, I don't want to be saved. All my people are dead, so I don't see any reason to keep on living. And if you stay here and try to help me, you put your friends at risk, so there's other things you want to protect, so make your choice. So Sephiroth killed him. And it's like, oh, damn. That was actually kind of interesting, you know? And then meanwhile, episode 2 here features Sephiroth going on a mission, like, some amount of time later, with Angeal here, who is one of the main characters in Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core. The guy that had, like, the Buster Sword that passed it to Zack, who passed it to Cloud. And at this point, Sephiroth isn't so happy and ready to make friends anymore like he was here. Now he's, like, his edgy self, Angeal wants to be friends with him. Sephiroth doesn't want to be friends with anybody. They're going on a mission to figure out why all their soldiers went missing on this one island. And there's like some curse that's going on here, and there's this old geezer that's wielding Masamune, like Sephiroth's super long sword from the main games. And we're at the point in the story where Sephiroth is like, I want that sword. It's gonna be mine. I desire it. So we're setting out now to go get this sword, which I feel like evidently he's gonna get, considering that's his sword in like the main games. So I guess this is gonna be the story of how Sephiroth got his sword and how him and Angeal became like BFFs, because by the time of Crisis Core, they're like really quite close friends. So that's where we're at. Now you're all caught up on the story. Let's go see what's going on when Sephiroth wants to go after this sword. So now you know. You're all caught up. The cave temple. Gonna be a whole bunch of cutscenes and stuff here. But yeah. Like saying that the Titanic movie came out on 2 VHS tapes, so they remake it as 2 different movies. That'd be kind of funny to see, though. Beat it took me at least 20 minutes. Nice, Rudora Master. The Cave Temple.